they're going to have to, maybe after playing a tough game, I guess, because of the way last year to get their britches smoked 35-16 against Rutgers, they're going to travel down to Miami and play a Friday night game. All right, welcome in everybody to Locker Room Sports Talk. Glad to be bringing you a deep look inside here, the Virginia Tech Hokies. Quarterback from last year, Kyron Drones, is going to excel onto the scene this year. It looks like he's going to have some weapons around him. He's going to have a few guys on his defensive side to be able to take care of them, maybe not giving up so much points, because it seemed like after a 7-6 season last year, it kind of seemed like the games that they did lose, they really wasn't close. Most of them wasn't. Now, they went on and won their bowl game. So we're going to go through this list here, and I want to start off and show you some videos of this young man playing. What an exceptional player. Let's just go here to the old play button. You got to see this guy's footwork, how he handles himself in the pocket and those kind of things. I think he's got a lot of upside. Little play action here, read in the belly, pull it out. Flip the ball downfield, guy's wide open. So, sure he's going to make these passes here. Let's see here. We'll skip ahead. Yes, and running too. He's a dual threat guy. He's not a small guy. Now, he's not the small quick guy like you used to seeing like play at like Michael Vick or some guy like that. But they love running this play action stuff, and I'm going to talk about some of their – that's a good pass, man. This kid's really – he's got it going on there. So I want to go back in here and talk about him. First off, we'll get into some news for the week. Things happening around the college football world. Again, thank you guys for coming by. Hit the thumbs up. Man, help us run the likes up on this video. It would help us out a lot to spread the word. Hope everybody's having a good evening. And, a Hall of Fame is coming around. We've seen that Coach Heupel, Tennessee. Coach Heupel is going to be on the ballot for College Football Hall of Fame. And, of course, Coach Nick Saban, and also mentioned for Alabama, Chris Samuels. Looks like he's going to be on the ballot. And, of course, Mark Ingram, he's on the ballot also. Now, I wanted to jot down a list here of some teams having the most five-star players right now. Of course, Bama has 15 as of right now. Georgia's got 12. Ohio State with 11. Texas A&M has 8. Clemson and Oregon both have 6. And along with the Hurricanes, Penn State, and Tennessee coming in there with 5 of the five-star players. I'm going to go here and share this too, some news. College baseball World Series games, they're going to be kicking up here again. And this week, just a couple of days, you can see here on the screen. Game 1 is like Virginia and Kansas State, June the 7th, and then June 8th they'll play, of course, game 2 and 3 if needed. Also that day at 6 that evening, North Carolina will play West Virginia, and Virginia again, Kansas State for game 2. These are on ESPNU and ESPN2. Lexington Super Regionals, Kentucky and Oregon State is going to kick it around the 8th and the 9th at 6 and at 9 ESPNU. The Athens Super Regionals, Georgia Bulldogs. Been 16 years since they've been to quite a little dance like this, so kind of cool to see them get in there and get this done, maybe represent for the SEC. Clemson playing Florida. And Florida is, I think I stumbled across some stuff where LSU has like the most appearances, I think, for College World Series stuff. So Florida and Clemson is going to play also the 8th at 2. That's going to be on ESPN. Byron College Station Super Regionals, Oregon and A&M, the 8th at 2 o'clock on ESPN2. And then it goes on for next couple of weeks, like the series actually itself, running on down through the 24th will be the final game 3 if necessary. So looks like game 1, June the 22nd, College World Series will be kicking around. We talked about Texas A&M. Tennessee had a good run at it. And Oklahoma, they'll be part of the SEC next year. And I think they had just got eliminated. Mississippi State, we mentioned them. They're always going to be a team to be in college baseball. They always kind of have been. And some news that has happened just here a day ago or so. Big Larry Allen, 11-time Pro Bowl guy. He played from 94 to 05. Of course, he played with the Cowboys. Everybody knew that. Blocked for Emmitt Smith, paving the way out there. Larry was a big guy, and his heart just represented who he was, and no ill words from any teammates. I don't know if you could find anything bad about the guy. 95, they were Super Bowl champs, and his last 2 years he did play for the 49ers. So that's kind of some news around the way here. Also, recruiting news for Alabama. Kellen Russell flips to Bama, a 2025 prospect for quarterback. He plays at Texas High School. I watched him play a little bit. He's a tall, really quick kid, very, very athletic. Let's go over here and take a look at him. Yeah, we'll get some highlights up here on the page here talking about Kellen Russell. Played at Duncanville High School over in Texas. He's a 4-star player right now. Said to have he's got a great 40. He's really fast. He's very maneuverable in the pocket. And I think he can make a real big splash. Now, you can see how he plays and the style that he likes to play, and we'd like to see how that fits in with Coach DeBoer at Bama. Now, he is a class of 25. He's looking forward to come over here. They just flipped today from SMU. And some 24/7 Rivals guys suspect he could possibly bump to a 5-star before he graduates. And, this type of football that, we've come accustomed to in these guys, it's just going to kind of melt right into how Coach DeBoer wants to coach him and their offense coordinator and everything that they've got going on. So I'm very curious to see how it plays out for him. Now, also, you have to say he's got a lot of great talent playing around him, because out there at Duncanville, they are loaded with talent. So we'll have to see, how he plays out now. Also, they had a receiver that they're looking to get come to Bama, and he's definitely somebody you need to keep on the list. Lazar kid, he is 17. He's going into his senior year. He's also going to be a guy that he was going to come play at Bama, wide receiver, and 17-year-old. Said he's already running about a 4.4 40, and he was quoted on Twitter, which I shared over there on the page. You can go find me over there at Big Matt 1977 on Twitter. He's ready to come in and play with Ryan Williams, and said he's going to step on the throat of his opponents. And, that kind of mentality, that kind of thing is kind of what you figure to see from Alabama players. Just kind of the way they've always carried themselves to play football, to be tough and, to play hard and always be the big hitters. And, when that class that they had from Smith and Michie and Waddle and all those guys, that class was so good, and I think, like the first time we'd seen Tua, throw a touchdown, maybe like at the Vanderbilt game or something, Vanderbilt had talked a little trash, if you remember, going back, just trying to highlight some of that. I think Devontae caught his first touchdown over there maybe. Bama fans, if you were, worried about Coach DeBoer and, the process is dead and things are going to go away at Alabama, with having 15 5-stars on campus, I don't think that's going to be any kind of real problem in the near future for Bama. They could have a number 1 or number 2 recruiting class, next year. I think Notre Dame is really burning up the trail right now. It's really early. Auburn has been 7, I think, just right behind Bama was 6. But with picking up these guys, the receiver and this quarterback, that's definitely going to push them, top 3 or 4, for recruiting. So that's just kind of some news, and we had to talk about that. Being Kellon Russell flips to Bama, quarterback out of Texas High School. Tall, quick, athletic kid. Now, the whole reason we came over here, I want to talk about Virginia Tech. The Hokies used to be old Beamer ball, what we used to call it. I will say, last year they went 5-3 in their conference, and looking through some old games from last year, they played a lot of close games. They lost last year to Purdue 17-24, lost to Rutgers 16-35. You see how this is trending here. They lost to Marshall 24-17, lost to Florida State 17-39, right around there. Only got a field goal against Louisville 34-3, lost to North Carolina State 28-35. That was a good game. I remember that one. But they go in the Military Bowl and they play Tulane. They win that one 44-20. That was a good game too. I remember watching that. Now, here's the key factor. Now, we come out here and we showed you some video of Drones, their quarterback, and he's really special. And I know in saying that, and he's played last year. He came from Baylor, played over at Baylor 2 years back. 6'2", 235, 230, something like that. Pro Football Focus, talking about Dorian Strong. That's a name you need to remember if you're going to be keeping up with them. They got 22 guys back, okay? I mean, this is one of these teams that have a lot of players back. I'm going to be doing these through the week to keep information going on the show because, that's what we like to do. We like to bring you some information. We're going to tell you about the players. We're going to talk about their schedule and try to make a prediction maybe of how they finish. See these games that they play, and Miami's going to be good, in the conference, and they're going to run into them. And gosh, it's definitely going to be a good year. If they can win some of those games, then look out for ACC because I think Clemson's going to be good too. I do. I know Dabo don't have a lot of, portal kids coming in because that's just not his style, but look out for them. So anyway, Pro Football Focus has Dorian Strong, top cornerback, number 20 overall last year. Strong he's a fifth-year senior, ACC All-American, had over 300 snaps allowed and only allowed 10 receiving catches. He was second in the FBS last year. Since 2014, he's only since 2014, that's the best record that anybody has had. He give up less than 100 yards. And Coach Derek Jones, the defensive back coach, says that he is ready to fly. Dorian Strong is a cornerback you need to have your eyes on and watch out for. Now, we've talked about Drones and what he's done, showed you some clips there, how he plays, and we got the Virginia and Virginia Tech game playing up there. I was looking at it a little bit, coming here and getting ready. Now, versus Tulane, their bowl game we talked about. He had like 180 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. He was the MVP of the bowl. And through some of these scouting sessions, they like this guy as much as to say he's Bo Nix style. He could be as good as him. And Jaden Daniels, I'm not saying this kid's going to win the Heisman now. Hold on. But his touchdown to interception ratio, all these math guys out here to put together these ratios and these math problems to give good numbers to show, where these guys are at. He's up there with these guys. So that's pretty impressive. Now, they did get some guys in the portal to fill in some needs for looked like mostly defense. They did get a backup quarterback, but they did get some defensive guys that they needed. A lot of 3-star guys. They got the Perry kid from Alabama. He come in, and linebacker, a Spencer kid, come from Miami. Quarterback kid come from UCLA. They also got offense tackle Cunningham, come from Georgia State, a big kid. It's a good get for them. And then Pebbles, a defensive lineman that they picked up from Duke. So if he's from Duke, he's smart. So they look like on the list for the portal stuff, they had about 16, 17 kids, had moving around. But what you didn't want to see, the Wright kid, Daquan Wright, he's a 4-star receiver, and he headed out from Virginia Tech and went to Ole Miss. And that's not good news. I mean, you don't want to lose one of your top receivers, okay? Now, notable players. Now, we're going to lay these out here for you. I'm going to pull the schedule up, and we're going to talk about it. Now, number 33, running back, Tuten, Tuten. He's a senior, 5'11", 210. That's that perfect size you like to see, that, Mark Ingram style, heavy, short, low the ground type guy. 860 yards and 10 touchdowns last year. Also, now these are some wide receivers. That one leaving. They still got these guys here. Senior, Jalen Lane, wide receiver, 500-plus yards. He's a small, speedy slot guy, 5'10", 192 pounds. Second team all ACC. 940 yards, back in 22 against he come from Middle Tennessee, and he played at Clover High School. Now, he owns the all-time receiving record from what I've gathered from his high school stuff. 1,600 yards and 30 touchdowns his senior year. That's a lot of catching for a young man to be in high school. Ollie Jennings, also wide receiver, 6'2", 208, more of your big body guy. Now, he broke his ankle against Purdue, and I think it said maybe like the first play of the game. Like as soon as he goes out and goes down for a route. But he's number 0. And coaches are saying there's a lot of promise for this guy. Ollie Jennings, wide receiver at Virginia Tech. Now, here's some defensive guys. Number 52. Hey, if he wears 52, he's got to be good. Defensive lineman, senior, 6'3", 246 pounds, all ACC, second team, 40 tackles. He was second in the ACC for tackles. They say he's a strong guy. He's a weight room guy and very instinctual to the ball. So we're going to check him out and see. That's drones right there, number 1. You can see him on the screen behind me somewhat. And he's not a small kid. I mean, he looks, 6'3", 6'4", 220, 230. Looks that way, They get some of these, their offensive line, man, that's always where it starts out. Now, finish up here with some of these players. Number 6, defensive lineman, Joshua Fuga, Fuga, 6'2", 300 pounds. He's a senior, and that was the big thing was the other players say that he's just a force. That's just pretty much kind of how they put it. He's just a force to deal with. Now, all right, here we go. Let's pull this schedule up here and let's look at this thing together. Okay, first off, 2024 schedule for VTech. Says over here in red, Miami is a Friday game, and the BC, Boston College game, is on a Thursday. Now, looks like they're going to travel to Vanderbilt, game 1. I would assume, let's just get my old handy-dandy notebook here and write this down. I'm going to say week 1, Vandy. All right, we're going to say get the W. Last year, I just said, some of these games the games they lost here, they lost to Marshall last year, 24-17. So you kind of have to look at Marshall and kind of see, where are they at? What do they got going on? Are they going to be improved too? Or, you would – one just kind of thinks with that many kids coming back, Virginia Tech's got – they should be great. They should have make a good run at it. So let's just assume here for the Hokies, they're going to beat Marshall. They're going to revenge that 24-17 loss last year. 7-6, the Meadow Bowl game, like I said earlier, and they won 44-20 against Tulane. Week 3 here, looking at the schedule, they're going to travel to Old Dominion. I'm just going to say that'll be a W because they beat them last year too now. And they'll come home the next week, come back home. Boy, they're jumping around a lot. Going to play Rutgers. And last year, Rutgers beat the crap out of them, 35-16. That just you cannot lose. You can't lose to Rutgers. There's just no way. I mean not that bad. At 16 points. So what, to really go back and watch, like we're watching this game here, and they win this game against Virginia, but it seems like the offense is just kind of anemic. Man, this quarterback's got to be able, get stuff together now. I've talked about some linemen. They did lose the receiver, but they, still have these other two guys we talked about. You got to win that game, man. Look, you're coming in 3-0 more than likely because you just play Vandy, Marshall, and Old Dominion. For Pete's sake, guys, you got to be able to win those three. Okay, now then they will go away and play at Miami the 27th, which is a Friday night game, September 27th. Miami, their schedule's not bad, but they got the heavy hitters on the schedule for their conference. It'd be like Georgia playing Bama and Ole Miss, so when they do. So you're going to find out in the season. There's going to be some games that you play there during the year that you may see again, as far for a conference, a conference game. Okay, Miami, I'm going to say they do not beat Miami. So they're going to we got them 4-1 right now. Going into the month of October, looks like they will be at, man, what a drive. That's fly all the way out to Stanford. Yeah, there ain't no, Stanford ain't been good in a while, so we're gonna mark them 5-1 right here to beat Stanford. Now, Boston College, it's always a good game, when they play them. They did beat them last year. And they don't have Louisville on here. They do not have North Carolina State. So they picked up Duke and Syracuse. So some of these games they lost last year, they're not playing this year. So see that you got 22 guys coming back, and you don't play some of these teams that you lost to last year. That's got to be a good recipe there. Going into October here, like I said, the 17th, this will be a Thursday night game at home. Place will be rocking. Enter Sandman blows across the speakers, and the place actually registers on the Richter scale, which is said to be by locals and fans and media there on site. So Boston College at home, jamming out Thursday night. Big win for them. Let's make them 6-1. All right, now the 26th, they're going to stay at home back-to-back weeks here. I think that'll be comfortable for them. They're going to play Georgia Tech. Give them a win there, make them 7-1. Then they're going to have travel up to New York to play Syracuse. I'm going to say that's a win. Wow, they're marking along 8. So they're already better, right here. They get this win at Syracuse and things pan out like I think they will. To beat Syracuse up there would be great. Now, looky here. November the 9th, the Fighting Sweeneys will travel on down to play VTech. Some old-timey Beamer ball. That will be, you can put a little note by that game right there. Let's just say they don't win it. Let's say they lose. Dabo and them comes down. They got their year together, and clubbing right along, and they're whacking people. And so we'll put them at 8-2 after a loss to Clemson. Just 2 more games here, okay? They're going to go up to Duke, up to North Carolina there. Losing their coach, quarterback's gone to Notre Dame, and I think that's a win for them. Let's make them 9-2 right here. Then they're going to finish out regular season with the old Civil War game here, November the 30th. Gets Virginia. That'll give them a win there. Guys, we're like a 10-2. I mean, what do y'all think? 10-2 on the year. Now y'all are looking at the schedule here. So who are they going? Man, I can't believe Rutgers beat them that bad. That's going to be their 4th game of the year, and then they're going to have to, maybe after playing a tough game, I guess, because of the way last year to get their britches smoked 35-16 against Rutgers, they're going to travel down to Miami and play a Friday night game. which I probably will not be able to watch. That'll be a game too. I will be covering some local games here, high school games around northeastern Alabama. That'll be a good game. That's going to decide a lot. Now, Stanford, let's see here. Stanford. Sheesh, that's a darn long way to go. Let's see where they're at. Let's check out Stanford. Okay, yes, looking around here for Stanford this year, they have. So I was thinking now they've joined the ACC. So all 17 league teams will play each other at least twice in 7 years. 68 conference games each season with 16 annual protected matchups. Top two teams by conference win percentage will play the first Saturday in December. ACC championship. Now Stanford will be a part of that. And let's see here who's always asking here. We're talking about the ACC, breaking down Virginia Tech, the Hokies, 7-6 last year, 5-3 in conference. Well, it's going to be some, a little bit of conference changes here because Cal and Stanford have decided to. They're joining. I knew Cal had, and Stanford to join in. They're going to be part of this till 2030. And just like everybody else, there's no like east, west, or north and south, or, how they used to do this. This is going to be like everybody else is doing. Just the best two highest winner percentage teams will play each other. And, man, with that schedule that we was just looking at there, Virginia Tech's going to have a good shot at it. I mean, they're going to have Miami and Clemson. Yeah, they're going to have Clemson at home, and Miami's going to be at Miami. Guys, if they could go on that the 27th, it's going to be a Friday night game we just talked about, to go to Miami. If they can go to Miami and make that win happen, that'll definitely change the program. That'll be a super win for them, because we all know that Virginia Tech's always had they've always had a good team, and everywhere that they've played and stuff they've had going on, they've always been somebody to deal with, So I look forward to seeing how this kind of turns out for the year. And that's kind of a breakdown for Virginia Tech. Again, 22 guys back. Kyron Drones, quarterback, junior. Now, he could come back, play another year maybe if you want. 6'2", 235. You see him. You can see some of his plays here. He's number one. And Pro Football Focus talks about this Strong, Darian Strong, top cornerback coming back in the nation. He's going to be I see a lot of fifth-year seniors. This guy, this Strong, is second FBS since 2014 to give up, the least amount of 100-yard games than anybody. And they got in some guys, a lot of defensive guys here, offensive tackle and a guard guy to come in here. So we went through the schedule, talking about their running back here, Tuten. We can take a look at him. Let's see see what he looks like. Now we can see here, catching the ball out of the backfield. Great play there. He can get up the sideline. Guys, what happened to just regular names? What are we doing? See him run the ball out of the backfield here. Makes a good read on the ball. Little flip out. Up the corner, got good speed, running over people, working hard, getting up the sideline, making good work. Here's another one here. Read him out of the backfield, bang, bang, stop here, gets in, gets his shoulder in behind his lineman, reading his block. His lineman, two guys, guards and tackles up here, making a good segue. Let's drop it back just a second here. See that? No, it's just straight up. Bang, get inside the pocket, get upfield, get off the tackle, find the place, get a first down. Hey, good job. Stop, start, good motor, finds a way to score, man. That's good. I'll sweep around the left end, ball's high and tight, makes a good athletic move over the guy. Hey, sheesh. I don't know about y'all, but that looks like a pretty good quality tailback there for Virginia Tech. Comeback senior player. Okay, so I don't know where y'all got them at, man. With that schedule, what we write down here, looks like Miami early in the season. But those first 4 games, man, Vandy, Marshall, Old Dominion, and Rutgers, guys, you can't lose to Rutgers. VTech, you just can't. Okay, let's get Rutgers, because you're gonna have to go to Miami on a Friday night, and I got them losing that game. Okay, but still, then you're gonna go up to Stanford, ACC game. You're gonna have Boston College, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, and then you're gonna have Clemson. So even if they drop to Miami and Clemson and then go on and beat Duke and beat Virginia in the rival game, but they're 10-2. So then you'd have to go over and study Clemson and Miami. And it's going to be the best 2 teams with the best records to play for the ACC. They may get one of those teams again. What if they can upset one of them? Now they get Clemson at home later in the season. Going to play them after Syracuse, November the 9th. I don't know. We'll find out. It's very interesting, man. These cats got a lot of guys back, and I'm really excited to see how this kind of turns out. What a year that they could have. What kind of mainstay could you look for them to be able to take care of the ball? If everybody can stay healthy, that'll definitely be. That just kind of goes without saying. Okay. Let's see. Head coach, Pariah, 33rd season. It's his 3rd year at Tech. 2nd season as head coach. So it's 10-14 from Pennsylvania. Went to Buffalo, graduated 93. Wife, family, kids, whatever. It's like his track record has been at Penn State a long time. Assistant head coach. He's a defensive guy, coordinator, coached linebackers. Was around Vanderbilt. So it looks like from the years I'm seeing, looks like he's kind of run with Coach Franklin for a while. Coach Franklin is, and I know there's stuff out there going, around about the doctor that got fired back a few years ago, and he was saying some of the coaches said the kid should play, and he had been suicidal, and I know there's stuff going on, but as a whole, and all the other, thousands of kids that he's affected, I always heard good things about Coach Franklin. I thought he did a jam-up great job. Everybody thought he did a great job at Vanderbilt. Been around Memphis, Louisiana Lafayette back some years, Western Carolina. He was at VTech as a grad assistant, Coach D-line, back 95 to 97, so he's about my age. Come out of high school, looks like in 93 or so, outside linebackers coach. It's been a good year for him. Like I said, they played, they won their games last year, and they lost. God, I can't believe that. You can't lose those games, man. You can't lose to Rutgers. And they lost to Florida State. They were great last year. Louisville, they had a good squad last year. But to go 7-6 last year is not terrible. Ain't nobody running you off for that. But this schedule lines up good, man. Oklahoma State's got 22 back. Iowa has 19. Iowa State 19. Nebraska, going to be doing a special breakdown on Nebraska real soon. They got, looks like 19 back, 10 offensive guys and 7 defensive guys. Of course, 2 special teams. Talking about Nebraska. I heard some mumblings and rumblings about Colorado. Coach Prime Time. I think it was Klatt. Was it Klatt that said? Let's take a look at that. I think it was Joel Klatt. So, yeah, Joel Klatt going on Coward and saying that there's a good possibility that, with a healthy Shedeur Sanders, he thinks he's a top 10 quarterback. Seeing how he plays, taking the pressure, rolling out of it, getting the ball down the field. And they building some offensive line. He feels like they have a good shot to win the Big 12. Well, Utah, we broke them down about 2 weeks ago. I think they'll have something to say about that. And also right here, right on this list under Virginia Tech, which is another team I'm going to do really soon. Be looking for that video soon. Oklahoma State. Guys, they bring like everybody back on offense, the whole team. And defense. They got 10 guys back on offense and defense. So, as far as your Virginia Tech Hokies, I'll say they're a 9.5. I think they should be they could be at 9.5. I mean, their schedule lays out good. Their schedule lays out very nicely. And it's just Miami and Clemson. And I know I keep saying Rutgers, and I'm sorry. Man, you can't lose to Rutgers, okay? So that'll wrap it up. Yeah, we'll have to do about 30 minutes or so. So appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out, breaking down Virginia Tech Hokies for 2024. Got a good squad coming in here, so we'll kind of see how they do. And subscribe to the page and come hang out with us every Sunday night. We're live on the show. And give us a thumbs up, like the video, share, tell a friend. All right. That ought to do it for our Locker Room Sports Talk for this edition. Y'all come back and hang out with us next time. We appreciate it.